What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Pokemon White. In the last episode, we made our way through Route 6, battling all the trainers here, grabbing a bunch of items, taking a look at all the many different kinds of Pokemon that can be caught on this route, and we made it all the way to the end where the entrance to Chargestone Cave awaits us. But first things first, I'm going to talk to this guy, and he wants us to show him a Deerling, which I managed to just catch, name it Estes. This is specifically a reference to the Old English word for summer. Which, makes sense given that I caught it as a summer form. Lesser of its body and its coloring is like the thicket in summer. The scent emanating from it is also very fresh and green. Thank you so much. I want to go catch my own Deerling right away. So now we only need to meet this guy for autumn, winter, and spring now, and then we should be good. But for the time being, let's continue. We're just going to have Deerling with us until we get to the next town. Otherwise, I'm not going to really worry about it too much. Let's just get all the way over to Chargestone Cave, where the real exciting part awaits us. Now, I want to try to be a little bit consistent here. So, which Pokeball have I caught each of you in? Naz is in a Quick Ball. Arthur is in a Pokeball. Crush is also in a Pokeball, but I guess I had no say over that. I want to try to make every single Pokemon I catch be in a different Pokeball. Again, as long as I actually can make that happen. So let's head up here and let's take a look at this spider web. Thanks for waiting. What, you weren't gonna? I thought you were gonna meet us here, not the other way around. Like, you'd be here and we'd meet you. Never mind. Looks like the nest of an electric-type Pokemon called Galvantula. Don't know why there's a nest here, but if there are folks having problems, the gym leader's the one to fix it. Crocorock, take it out. Super effective on the web. Okay. And this here TM's yours. It's my favorite TM, so you can teach it to all your Pokemon. And there we go. TM78 Bulldoze, which I think I'm going to be waiting on a little bit before I teach it to... Well, I guess I could try to teach it to Crush. Not that it's, like, super useful, but we'll take it. I don't know how good you really are, but if you think you can go wherever. And if you think you can do something, keep doing it. Do things on how you want. Decide your own limits. All right, Clay, I appreciate the advice and the little pep talk there, but I'm going to use your TM now to give my Turtle a little bit of a good move. Not an amazing move by any means, but it is one of the more solid ground-type moves in the game. So let's get rid of... Oh, shoot, though. Oh, I don't know, man. I think I'd rather have Crunch than Bulldoze. Yeah, no, see, that was my fear. It's like, I don't really have anything... I guess if I could... Once I get rid of Strength... No, I didn't mean to do that. Once I get rid of Strength, maybe I will give him Bulldoze, but there we go. All right, let's get rid of that. Gosh, I cannot menu navigate to save my life. Into the cave we go. And once we get in here, we're going to see... Hold on a second. Shadow Triad, come. My Lord N, we brought the one you wanted. Ah, yes, that was the Shadow Triad just now. Getsus enlisted them in Team Plasma. Apparently they were the ones who prepared the Galvantula nest at the cave entrance. Well, now here I was feeling bad that we messed up a Galvantula's home, but no. Chargestone Cave. I like this place. Formulas express electricity and its connection to Pokemon. If people did not exist, this would be an ideal place. You have been chosen, you know. Does it surprise you that I said that? Yes. Of course, such news should be a surprise. I told Getsus about you and your friends. After I did, he apparently used the Shadow Triad to find out about you. Charon is pursuing the ideal of strength. Poor Bianca has faced the sad truth that not everyone can become stronger. And you are not swayed either way, more of a neutral presence, which is apparently a good thing. Team Plasma will be waiting for you ahead. Getsus wants to see what kind of Pokemon trainer you really are. Chosen, huh? Whatever that means. I mean, I think these guys are just freaks, honestly, and we can be okay with that fact. But the way that this place works, the way that Chargestone Cave works is very, very simple. And, of course, I'm going to get stopped as soon as I go any further. Gosh dang it, I was going to show you, Bianca. Hold on. Levi, did you know this? The floating stones move when you touch them. Right, Professor? Professor Juniper, what are you doing here? Hi there, how are you, Levi? This place is always charged with lots of electricity that Pokemon like. The electric charges react from one stone to another, and that's why some of the stones are floating. But not all the stones can be pushed. My father asked me to research Clink, which is a Pokemon that looks like a gear, because I'm researching the origins of Pokemon and the era they appeared. He knows how to get what he wants from people, but I was already interested in this anyway, so it's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Levi, this is for you. And we've obtained a lucky egg. Oh my goodness, this is going to make a huge difference. Giving that lucky egg to the Pokemon that holds it, increases the amount of experience points received in battle by a lot. Having strong Pokemon will make it easier to fill your Pokedex pages. What now? Are we done? I guess we're done. Okay, let's push this crystal, which if you see a giant rock with electricity around it, that is basically the source of... Oh, yeah, that basically tells you the direction that you can push the crystal itself. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and stop running into cutscenes here, and we're going to go over all of the new Pokemon that can be caught in this area. Ferroseed, Joltik, Clink, Tynamo, and you know what? You can even catch Drillbur here too, although I'm obviously not going to go over that one again. Ferroseed is a steel and grass type Pokemon that evolves into Ferrothorn at level 40. This thing is just a wall, and an excellent wall at that. It has a fine attack stat, probably the best defensive combination in the entire game, and a very poor speed stat, of course. In a lot of ways, you can compare this to something like a Scavalier with a little more defense and a little less offense. It also gains some pretty fantastic moves right off the bat, such as Power Whip when evolving and Iron Head very early on after the fact. This thing is just good at its job. It can take hits all day, even though it goes slow, so if you throw leftovers at it and don't send it out against fire types, it'll win battles for you all day long. I cannot recommend this thing enough. Joltik is a bug and electric type Pokemon that evolves into Galvantula at level 36. Fantastic and interesting typing aside, this thing has some very good speed and pretty good offensive stats that make it a worthy addition to just about any team combination. Having access to Signal Beam and Discharge on the same Pokemon and later Bug Buzz is such a huge boon. The biggest issue with this Pokemon really comes down to its defenses, which are merely below average as opposed to outright terrible. And since it's only weak to rock and fire, you still won't run into a lot of issues in that department. It's just a very solid Pokemon. Nothing truly amazing, but it more than gets the job done, and it is very easy to slot into almost any team. Clink is a Steel-type Pokemon that evolves into Clang at level 38 and into Kling at level 49. In a lot of ways, you can make direct parallels with this family and the Vanillite family because of its great stats, single typing, and its steep evolution requirements. But personally, I think the Clink family wins out in this game in particular, not just because of its typing, but because of its better balance in stats, and the fact that it has a lot more variety in the types of moves that it can learn, including a nice range of electrical moves. The most appealing aspect has to be its signature move Shift Gear. Although it doesn't learn this move until level 54, it instantly turns this thing into an extremely powerful sweeper, raising its speed twice and its attack once. And the nice thing is it just has such great stats across the board already. Great attack, great defense, good speed, and special defense. This is one of the best monotype Pokemon in the entire game. Tynamo is a pure electric-type Pokemon that evolves into Electric at level 39 and Electros when exposed to a Thunderstone. If we're talking in terms of pure base stats, this is the best electric-type Pokemon in the entire generation, excluding legendaries. It has great offensive stats, decently balanced defenses, and a below-average speed. It has a wide range of moves, including some nice poison and dark moves that round out its moveset very well, but if I'm being honest, I don't think it's quite as appealing as a Pokemon as something like Galvantula. It's a little harder to get, and you have to be much more patient when evolving it, something you shouldn't do at least until level 54 if you want it to learn Coil, and its single typing isn't the best. It hits very hard, but not with any sort of urgency, and its defenses don't offset its low speed as well as I would like. But it's definitely not a bad Pokemon by any means, just don't be too immediately excited when you see its base stat spread. And now that we have discussed all of the Pokemon that can be caught in this area, I would like to present to you our newest team member and the main reason that I was absolutely okay with getting rid of Marty. Yes, we are going to be catching ourselves a Joltik, which, as Clay mentioned before, evolves into Galvantula. This is an electric and bug type Pokemon, and that dual typing is the main reason why I wanted Joltik on my team. Even though it does have technically worse overall base stats than Zebstrika, its typing and its learn set and also its stat distribution just make this a lot better of a Pokemon to me. Given that it is female, I think I'm going to go with another pop culture reference here, although not an American pop culture reference this time, but more of a worldwide one. Let's go with a Shelob. I guess a lot of the ones I haven't been doing. Arthur is an English pop culture reference. Marty is, I guess, American. And then Crush is Australian as well. Australian, and this is New Zealand. So, yeah, haven't been really consistent with that. I guess just pop culture references in general. But let's take a look at Shelob's nature really quickly. Another neutral nature. Wow, I have been getting really unlucky, but it has the ability I want. So, there are two possible abilities that you can get with this Pokemon. Compound Eyes is one of them, and the other is Unnerve. Unnerve stops Pokemon, opposing Pokemon from eating berries, but Compound Eyes is better because it increases accuracy, and you can see with moves like Fury Cutter and Electro Web, these aren't 100% accurate, but if you have Compound Eyes, then they become that way. There are some other moves that Shelob is going to be learning later on that are also going to benefit from this ability, so I'm okay with it. We're going to settle with it. Special attack is the plan here, so unfortunately Bug Bite and Fury Cutter aren't all that great just for their typing. Electro Web is its strongest move at the moment, and we'll be making some changes here in the future. On top of that, I can also teach the thing Shockwave right off the bat. So, I've got the Lucky Egg on Arthur. I'm going to put an experience share on Shelob, and then we're going to start making our way through this cave. But first, I'm going to head outside and do some heals without, so just so I don't have to use any of my items and all that. So I will see you all back here in just a second. And we are back. Okay, let's proceed. We don't need Bianca and Professor Juniper to help us further than this. Let's just push that out of the way. And I am actually going to pull out my dowsing machine now that we're in the cave, because there are a lot of hidden items in here to be grabbed, especially as we go into the lower levels. But let's start by taking on this guy, and it looks like we also have an item over that way we can get to as well. Like I said, this is a cave, so we're going to be running into lots of electric and rock types, which is the main reason I didn't want to use Naz in here. He wasn't going to be able to handle most of the stuff. Also, Clink. That's right, we got Clinks in here as well. Okay, this Pokemon, I want to talk about Clink for a second, because Clink is another one of those Pokemon that got really made fun of by people who hate Generation 5's Pokemon designs, which, I'm sorry, but I love these designs. First of all, I love how ridiculous they are. But second of all, this Pokemon in particular is legitimately awesome. Like, seriously, Clink is one of the best Pokemon, one of the most underrated Pokemon in any generation ever. I know that it's a mono-type, steel-type Pokemon, but gosh, this thing just learns some freaking amazing moves. All the electrical and steel-type moves that it can get. Given it something like Flash Cannon is just devastating on top of its typing. But also, so Gear Grind is an okay move, but its best move, Shift Gear, is one of the best setup moves in all of Pokemon. I don't understand why people hate on this thing so much, aside from just its look. I mean, this isn't even really that, I guess, unoriginal of a concept. It's not even that strange of a concept. Well, I mean, I guess it isn't original, but it's something that you see in Japanese games a lot, not just in Pokemon, for instance. And I don't know, I feel like people just give this one a bad rap. I'm not a fan of the way that Pokemon is treated just because it's a gear with a face. It's really strong. And again, one of the most unique Pokemon from a gameplay standpoint that Game Freak has ever created. They really haven't made as many, like, you look at most Pokemon and you just see the typing and you see the design and you're immediately like, okay, I know what this Pokemon is about. I know the types of moves it's going to learn. It's pretty obvious. But you see Clink and you just like, what could this possibly be? And it has all of these unique moves that are entirely its own. And the fact that it is a steel type but also super specializes in electric moves, it's so different, and I love that. I love that about Pokemon. When you get those Pokemon that just completely stand out on their own, I'm greatly appreciative of it. And I feel like we don't see that enough, and I hate it, honestly. So, that hurt. Gosh dang it. Yeah, I feel like we don't get to see that enough, and I don't know. I will always defend Clink because people really do hate on it more than it deserves. Anyway, I'm going to try to survive this acrobatics here with Shelob. Yes, you did. Thank you. Let's Electro Web this thing to death just so that you can get the most experience possible out of it. There we go. All right, let's continue. Sorry. I was trying to get my thoughts across about Clink there, and I was just so distracted because I love that Pokemon. Dang it. People are so hard on it, and I hate it. It's really, really good. I honestly was considering putting it on my team for that reason and that reason alone, but decided against it just for the simple fact that it didn't really fit the team composition I was going with all that much, unfortunately. But maybe someday I will do a playthrough of some kind where I end up actually using that. So for now, oh no, I want to pull this back out. There we go. And can I squeeze past you? Possibly. Thank you. We're going to head up here, and it looks like I'm on top of it. I'm actually going to run into this dust cloud because there's a very good chance that it could be an item. And it is a grass gem. Now, the gems are okay. Those are kind of nice. You can get those every once in a while. But the real reason to run into those clouds is you can actually get evolutionary stones out of those, which I would not mind getting. All right, let's push that down. Now we can head over this way. Push that one into place, and as soon as we do, Juniper and Bianca rejoin us again. Hi there, did you find something? I think we're just about done collecting data. This cave has been around since the distant past, but data to prove that Clink existed more than 100 years ago can't be found. That must mean Clink suddenly appeared 100 years ago, or at least within that time frame. Where Pokemon came from and where they are going, if we can learn that, I believe we can get along even better. You know what? Levi Pokemon are mysterious. I wonder why these amazing little guys stay by our sides. Well, I'm assuming that Clink was very possibly another Pokemon that adapted and took on the gear form and shape so that it could better assimilate with a lot of the human technology. I mean, that's what I gather based on its design. How you're exploring games, I'm going to teach you the harshness of life and the difficulty of Pokemon battles. Okay. You do that, sir. So this is actually a pretty big cave. It's going to take us multiple episodes to explore. There's a lot going on in here, a lot we're going to be dealing with. And of course, you know, we got all these trainers in the upper levels, and then we still have to look forward to N and Team Plasma and them being deeper in the cave as well. Like a hiker said before, Chargestone Cave is a pretty straight line, but it also does encourage you to explore other areas. So it is a straight line, but it also isn't a straight line, if that makes sense. In the most practical sense, it is not. In the most literal sense, it is. Or maybe I'm backwards on that. In the most practical sense, it is. In the most literal sense, it is not. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Anyway, Girder. You know what? I actually will throw Naz out against you because all the experience we can get for Naz, the better. With Arthur, however, though, that lucky egg is going to be coming in a lot of handy. Once we get to the next town, this is something that you guys, that I want to mention before we get there. But there's typically one point in the game where I do like to try to make sure that my entire team is kind of up to speed and all on the same page as one another. So, sorry about that cut. Man, I have just been trying to record this episode and have not been feeling myself 100%. Okay, we can't go any further that way because that is blocked off by the crystal. So let's head on down this direction instead. But anyways, once we get to the next town, we are going to hit a point where we're going to be going through another grass route again. And I mention this because rustling grass. There's always a point in the game, especially as my team becomes more offset from one another, that I like to try to put them all on the same page. And Audino, obviously, is a very easy way of doing that. Now, I don't want to do it yet because there is one more team member we're going to be grabbing, in like 4 or 5 episodes that I want to add on to the team first before I stop and make that happen. So what I'm going to be doing is, at one point, just here in the future, I am going to be taking the time to battle a bunch of Audino. Uh-oh. I wasn't expecting to run into you guys. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be battling a bunch of Audino and just getting everybody up to the same level as like the 3rd or 2nd highest member of the team so that we're all on the same page so that I don't have like Joltik languishing. And that way I can, instead of having to rely on the experience share anymore, I can rely on just passing the lucky egg between whoever my primary Pokemon is. And then they can start to level a lot faster from here on out, which would be ideal. Anyway, come. There are stairs going down ahead. Team Plasma is waiting for you there. All right, well, I guess we'll have to go track them down. Let's grab ourselves this item. And then I will whip out the dowsing machine again. And let's push that down so we can proceed. All right. I do believe we're going to be running into a nurse or doctor here at some point, as with any area that's a little bit isolated. You usually have one of these. I think they're on the floor below or possibly the one after that. But Clink again. Okay, this is what I'm going to need, what I'm going to desperately need to get myself a fire type, or a ground type for that matter, because you don't actually have levitate on you. Also, X special, that's not very nice. Well, hopefully we can get some good damage with this leaf blade here. Maybe a crit? No? Okay, well, we'll keep trying. Let's do it again. Probably going to take 3, maybe just 3 shots, and then a thunder shock. Oh, no. I'm just worried about the paralysis. Yep, that's what I was waiting on. Oh, gosh. Dang it. Good thing the Charge Beam missed. Speaking of Charge Beam, that is the main move that Joltik is going to be learning here relatively soon. And the main reason I wanted to make sure that my Joltik had compound eyes. That is, oh my gosh, I cannot begin to describe how much I love this Pokemon, because you look at its stats, and it really doesn't seem all that. In fact, it seems outright bad based on its stats. And as a Joltik, it kind of is. That's why I'm not really putting it into battle as much as I can help it. Not unlike how I was treating Crush before. Okay, let me see. I think I want to push that one. There we go. Then we can head on over here and get this item. If we push the other one, we'd be locked out. At least until we went down the stairs and came back up, which would reset the positions of the crystals. But there we go. Let's go downstairs. And here we're going to start to run into a lot more trainers, as well as these two guys. Let's talk about them. Hi, we're the Nugget Brothers. I am the big brother, and I am the little brother of the Nugget Brothers. Glad you showed up. I want to give you this. And he gives us a nugget. Very befitting of the Nugget Brothers. I want to give you this too. And we get a nugget. There we go. That's just a free 10 grand right there. Thank you very much for that, guys. I appreciate it. Now, let's head up this way. And this is the doctor I was talking about. If you like, I will make your Pokemon healthy. However, let me challenge you to a battle first. Okay. But yeah, I'm not going to be using Joltik too much as I can help it, just because she's really frail at the moment. She'll get a lot better in due time. Don't you worry. But for right now, not the most ideal thing in the world. Let's just use Return. I mean, I'm kind of just wanting to stubbornly sticking to Arthur here until Arthur is able to evolve. Well, that Bug Bite might hurt a lot. Yeah, we should be fine. We should be fine. We should be able to take another one of those hits, and then the free heal after the battle will be more than enough. String Shot. That's not what I was expecting. I was just expecting another Bug Bite, but okay. But down you go, Swadloon. Which, the more I look at it, Swadloon is just straight up a pear underneath that thing, isn't it? Or is it a lemon? I honestly can't tell. It's very goofy looking. It's got it's just the cloak. And then whatever that is underneath, that shape. It's like an oblong shape of some kind. Oh, no, it did knock me out. Wow. Okay, that's fine. We'll get the heal. All right, time to switch to Shelob. And Shelob can just use a Bug Bite here. He's so cute, too. Look at it. I love it. I love it jittering around. Oh, what an adorable Pokemon. And it's funny. I don't know why I like this Pokemon so much, because I do kind of have this. It's not something I really have anymore as an adult, but as a kid, I was deathly afraid of spiders. I really was. I was a huge arachnophobe as a kid, and growing up, I'm still not a fan of them. They kind of still make me uneasy, but I'm not deathly or terrified of them anymore. But I love this Pokemon. I don't know what it is. I love all the Pokemon spiders. I love the Ariados line too. I don't know why. I think they look so cool. I think it's just the really it's when they're extremely fuzzy, and it's the eyes too, because a lot of the spiders in Pokemon obviously have very cutesy, expressive eyes because they're cartoons, and it makes a lot more sense. But when you're looking at real spiders, they're obviously not so expressive and emotional looking, which is what makes them kind of creepy. So I don't know. I guess I'm just I look at these and I'm just I love them, but yeah, I can't get over real spiders. I don't know. I don't know what it is about me that behaves that way. But with all that said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon White. Thank you all so very much for watching. In the next episode, we're going to continue further through Chargestone Cave, basically grabbing every single item we can, doing battle against every trainer we can, and hopefully making it out on the other side in one piece. So with all that said, I will see you all in the next one.